Hello everyone. So today we will talk about the research ingredients or ingredients which you can use for your research proposal. As a part of the requirement for the award of a degree or diploma in higher education institutions, students at undergraduate and postgraduate level normally carry out research which they are supposed to report in the form of dissertation or thesis. The research journey commences with the selection of a research topic and the preparation of a proposal on the selected topic. Experience has reflected that students tend to encounter difficulties in writing research proposals for their supervisors because they do not fully comprehend what constitutes a research proposal. The purpose of this podcast is to take students through a step by step process of writing a really good research proposal and discussing the essential ingredients a an effective research proposal. So it is not a didactic piece. The objective is to guide students in research proposal writing and to discuss the ingredients. Relevant examples would be given whenever it is needed. It is expected that on reading or listening to things related to the research things, students or listeners would be able to demonstrate knowledge and understanding of what research is all about and what are the challenges and what is the kind of nature, and they would be able to display an enlarged comprehension of research gaps, problems, or questions, aim, objectives, and hypotheses as well as their distinguished characteristics. And they will be able to demonstrate a good understanding of the relevant elements to be considered in the constituent section of a good research proposal. And also, they can comprehend the elements of a research proposal that should feature in the final written dissertation or thesis. Students pursuing studies in academic institutions, particularly in university, both at UG and PG levels, are required to conduct an independent piece of research and present in the form of a dissertation or thesis as a part of the requirement for awarding academic degrees. It is expedient at this stage to explain what research means and its types because that provides a context for the ensuing discourse. Research is a careful, systematic, and patient investigation in some field of knowledge undertaken to establish facts or principles. It is a structured inquiry that utilizes an acceptable scientific methodology to collect, analyze, and interpret information, to solve problems or answer questions, and to create new knowledge that is generally applicable. From Burns 1997, Grinnell 1993, Kumar 2011. Similarly, according to Research Assessment Exercise 2005, research is an original and systematic inquiry or investigation into a subject to gain knowledge and understanding of a phenomenon. Research can therefore simply be described as a journey embarked upon that leads to the discovery of new knowledge or revision of facts, theories, and applications. Thus, any research conducted must make an original contribution to the existing body of knowledge in the relevant discipline. There are two main types of research, which are scientific academic research and research that is more or less carried out by people in their daily lives, known as common sense research. In distinguishing between these two types of research, Lundberg 1942 explains that nearly all people in the course of their daily lives may systematically observe, classify, and interpret data, which is a form of research. For instance, a potential purchaser of a particular model of a car may systematically investigate about the performance of the car before finally making a decision to purchase it, and this constitutes research. Lundberg, however, observes that this type of research is different from scientific research because of the degree of formality, rigorousness, verifiability, and general validity of the latter. The essential features of the academic research are that it should, as far as possible, be controlled, rigorous, valid, and verifiable, empirical, critical. Kumar, 2011. Reliable, systematic, arguable, and challengeable. Regarding the concept of control, in real life, many factors can affect an outcome, and therefore, in exploring the causality in relation to, for example, two variables, it is important that the study is kept up in a manner that minimizes the effects of other factors affecting the relationship. Kumar, 2011. This, Kumar notes, can be achieved to a large extent in the physical science because most of the research is conducted in a laboratory setting. He, however, opines that in the social sciences it can be extremely difficult to control external factors as the research is carried out on issues relating to human beings living in a society where such controls are impossible, and it will thus be necessary to quantify their impact. It appears Kumar assumes that such impact can always be quantified. However, it might not be possible in all cases, and even where they can be quantified. An issue that may arise will relate to the appropriate technique to be used, and these constitute some of the challenges in the research process. In terms of the rigorousness of academic research, on the part of the research is required to ensure the procedure followed to address problems or find solutions to questions are relevant, appropriate, and justified. Kumar, 2011, Lundberg, 1942. These authors observe that the degree of rigor will vary markedly between the physical and social sciences. The concept of validity and verifiability implies that the conclusions which are made based on the research findings should be correct and can be verified by researcher and others. Kumar, 2011. Validity is about the study's success at measuring or investigating that the researcher sets out to measure or investigate internal validity and the extent to which the research findings can be applied to new setting, external validity. Bell and Bryman, 2011. Lincoln and Guba, 2000. Sazfram, 2012. Albeit other types of validity exist, it suffices that only internal and external validity is mentioned because of the object is to briefly define the concept. Reliability refers to the extent to which a test or any measuring procedure yields the same result on repeated trials. Bell and Bryman, 2011. Krippendorff, 2013. Lincoln and Guba, 2000. It is, therefore, about consistency. It is when research procedures or tools used by different researchers yield consistent measurement that researchers are able to satisfactorily draw conclusions, formulate theories, or make claims about the generalization of their research finding. Thus, the importance of reliability in academic research cannot be overemphasized as it determines the validity of the research. Critical scrutiny of the procedure or methods used is crucial to a research inquiry. That is, the process and procedures adopted must be able to withstand critical scrutiny. Kumar, 2011. Academic research is also systematic, arguable, and challengeable. This is because what is to be addressed or investigated, that is, the research problem or questions, must first of all be established based on the research gaps identified in the relevant literature. Second, how the research problem or questions are to be addressed has to be determined. Third, data will be collected, presented, and analyzed using appropriate data analysis tools and the research findings discussed. In the end, conclusions and appropriate recommendations will be made. Thus, conducting research is a systematic process that involves the realization of milestones and deliverables as aptly observed by Kumar 2011. The procedures adopted to undertake an investigation follows a certain logical sequence and therefore the different steps cannot be taken in a haphazard manner. Some procedures must follow others. Timescales and resources for research are normally tight. Any research to be conducted will be time bound and thus the researcher has no infinite time. Neither has he got limitless resources for the research. These constitute challenges that are normally referred to as research limitations or constraints. Other research challenges that might be encountered in the research process include issues relating to the particular research methodology used and accessibility to data. It is thus very important to comprehend these research challenges and to acknowledge them in the research process. There are two main forms of academic research based on the sources of data. The first one is desktop research, which is any research conducted where the source of data is solely published and unpublished materials. That is, the research relies heavily on secondary data. Examples would include information from books, journals, articles, published and unpublished, dissertations and theses, reports, databases, newspapers, and magazines. The second one is empirical research, where data are gathered via direct experience, observation, experimentation, interviews, and questionnaires. This type of research, therefore, uses mainly primary data. It is possible to conduct academic research which is an amalgam of the two and therefore they are not watertight, closed boxes. The preoccupation of this podcast is academic research, since it is that type of research that students in universities are normally required to conduct and report in dissertation or thesis form. The research journey normally commences with the selection of the research topic from a subject or an area of interest and the preparation of a research proposal on the selected topic. A research proposal clarifies the thoughts of the researcher. Furthermore, it aids him or her to organize the ideas into a coherent statement of research intent regarding what is to be investigated, how it will be investigated, and the significance and importance of what is to be investigated. It also offers him or her an opportunity to convince an assessor or any other reader that the proposed research can be conducted within a given time frame and resources. The purpose of this podcast is to discuss the essential ingredients of a good research proposal, the experience of the authors in teaching research methodology and supervising students at both undergraduate and postgraduate level shows that students tend to find it difficult understanding the essential ingredients of research proposal and, for the matter, find it difficult to write good research proposal. There is a need to launch an explanation in detail and provide relevant examples where necessary.